Good afternoon, meteorologist Bob here for you with a tropical update for June 4, 2013. The first video of the 2013 hurricane season. Hopefully I'll be able to do many more of these this season, time permitting. So here we go, our first system to watch in the Atlantic. We have Invest 91L, and you can see a little different than yesterday. Yesterday this looked a little bit more elongated. Today we're tightening up the circulation just north of the Yucatan Peninsula here. Still, we have the shear. It's about 30 knot westerly shear coming through the Gulf of Mexico right now. So you see all the thunderstorms are located on the eastern side of this circulation. Circulation is right here. Again, a little more tightly wounded than yesterday. And the National Hurricane Center has upped the chances to 40% here. But with the shear coming across this way, unless the thunderstorms really start forming around the center of this circulation, we're not going to have a tropical storm. Well, we're not going to give it a name. Again, regardless of whether this gets a name or not, you could see the tropical moisture pumping itself right across Florida here. Already, we're getting a lot of rainfall here across Florida the last day or two, and a lot more to come. And this tropical plume of moisture is going to ride right up along the eastern seaboard with this system. I'll show you that in a minute. Right now, forecast track, at least what I'm looking at, is a slow progression here to the north, maybe even a little north-northwest here in the next 24 hours. And then we have a frontal system lying right in this area, right up in here. If we can put the fronts on, here's our stationary front. And what's going to happen here, this thing's going to ride up right up along here and then shoot off to the northeast. So probably the center will arrive somewhere in the Big Bend area of Florida, looking like Thursday afternoon, Thursday night time frame here. Probably more like Thursday evening, Thursday night, and then shoot off to the northeast. So that's what we're looking at right now. If you close in on the circulation, you can see here's our little spin here, just to the north of the Yucatan. Again, all the weather is to the east. If you've heard me talking about this system over the last 4 or 5 days, even before it was even going to happen, probably even a week ago, I said this was going to be an east-sided weighted system where all the weather was going to be to the east, and it was going to be a big rainmaker, and that's really what it's looking like, again, whether it gets a name or not. If we look at the water vapor loop here in the Gulf of Mexico, and you can see real clearly, here's our shear, again, westerly shear hitting this. The plume of tropical moisture coming up across the Florida Peninsula. And this is what we have, a lopsided system. You could just cut it right in half right here. All the weather is going to be on the east side. And again, will it get a name? If the shear could kind of relax. And the shear looks like it's going to try to relax as this system gets about in this area. And it could have enough time to at least acquire a name and become a minimal tropical storm. Again, semantics. Whether it gets a name or not, it's going to be the same results for anybody on the east side of this system. Heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, depending on how strong it gets, 20, 30 miles an hour across the peninsula of Florida. Maybe some higher gusts, especially along the eastern coast here, just depending on how strong the system gets. And here we go. This is what I was talking about. National Hurricane Center. This was as of 2 p.m. We have our 40% probability, or as we like to call it, code orange. Yep, here we go, and you can see still remains disorganized, and again, all the weather is well to the east and southeast of the center. And again, they're saying it could become a little more conducive for development the next day or two. And like I said, the shear looks like it may just drop just enough to maybe give it that name right before landfall. If that, putting out my forecast, I would say it's probably going to get a name before landfall. I would say we could be looking at a minimal tropical storm. If that's the case, we would be looking at Andrea as our first name system in the tropical Atlantic, and then it's going to interact with that upper trough there that I showed you, and it's going to move right up along the eastern seaboard. I'll show you that in a minute. Model runs, again, most of the models are clustered. If you want to say, quote-unquote landfall is looking like probably right around the Big Bend area of Florida, then up along the east coast. GFS pretty much showing the same thing as the Euro. They're in very excellent agreement. This is Thursday morning, here we are right here. Then we move over to Friday morning. So from Thursday morning to Friday morning, then located right near, the eastern North Carolina coast, and then shooting off by Saturday morning up into the Canadian Maritimes. Same thing with the Euro. The Euro is just a little slower, but basically the same thing Thursday morning, and then Friday morning, again, a little slower. So this will probably come in sometime Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and then move up along the eastern seaboard. And interesting enough, if this hugs the coast, we actually could be looking at a stronger system for the northeast than we see down here in Florida. This system may actually strengthen as it moves up the eastern seaboard here. And again, not totally tropical characteristics, but some of that tropical moisture with it and entity with it. It may not have a name, of course, but this actually could become a little stronger up in here. So we may be looking at beginning of this weekend, especially Friday night, Saturday morning here across the northeast, looking at some heavy rainfall and some gusty winds. So be on the lookout for that across the northeast. And I'll even show you that the latest precipitation forecast from the national from NOAA shows you the possible heavy rainfall amounts here across the northeast. The strongest of the systems, strongest of the models right now is the Canadian model, and the slowest as well. This is valid for overnight Thursday night, very early Friday morning. It's a little farther south and a little stronger. I really don't see that happening. I'm thinking more in the lines with the Euro GFS model right now. Again, possibly obtaining a name and a weak tropical storm before landfall here, somewhere in the Big Bend area of Florida. And again, the latest QVC forecast here, and you could see this is going for the next 7-day precipitation forecast from NOAA, and you could see some heavy rainfall amounts now showing up for the northeast here, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, and all along the eastern seaboard here. And you can see an additional, of course, what we've had so far in Florida, we could be seeing an additional 3, 4, 5, maybe upwards of 6 to 7 more inches of rain. I think there are some flood watches now near the Tampa area and the southwest area of Florida here as the approach of the system. So again, a lot of rainfall for Florida, heavy rainfall up along the eastern seaboard, and then watch out here Friday, Saturday for the northeast. We may be looking at some heavy rainfall and winds from this system. That's it for today. Again, hopefully this will be a, hopefully not if you don't want to see a lot of hurricanes and tropical systems, but hopefully I'll be able to be putting out these videos for you guys this season from time to time. Have a good day.